If you can see, there is in the bottom, there is a link, aka.ms/pl-300-1. What you all need to do is, you all are requested to go to your browser, and then you just need to type aka.ms.ms/pl-300-1. This is actually going to take you to a page. This page is actually your learning page, or you can say reading page, from where you can do the reading task. Okay, from where you will be able to do the reading task as well, right? Because right now for this there is no book available. There is no book is there. We are using MS Learn. We are using MS Learn, and with the help of your MS Learn, you all are actually working with this particular up data as well. And here you will be become a Microsoft certified data analyst associate certification for certification point of view, and that's the examination course code PL300. Now whatever you want to read, you can get all the informations like this in a link. These topics I'm going to discuss with you in a minute. Okay, but yeah, they have also given you the like a read, like a book reading you will be able to do if you want to perform it. So this link is available for every module. The only thing is that at the time of mentioning it, aka.mspl-300-1 or pl-300-2, pl-300-3. So you will be able to see all these operations which is there. This PL refers to uh, programming logic or power logic, you can say. Okay, and then we are just presenting the presentation logic, and then we are using it for our designing and developing, and this is available for every particular module. So what we will be going to cover today, what are the tasks that we will be going to discuss? First of all, there are two terminologies we are going to discuss about. The first one is your data analysis and getting started with Power BI, and that's what our agenda as well. So first, let's discuss about the data analytics and Microsoft. Now, to understand that, you need to understand one thing. Try to understand, as a data analyst, you are actually on a journey. You are on a journey. Think about all the data that is being initially generated every day and that is available in an organization. From transactional data in a traditional database, telemetry data from services you use, to signals you get from the different areas like social media or anything. Okay, these all are some very important factors which plays a very important role for a data analyst. Now, nowadays, you know what is happening? Nowadays, businesses of today. Okay, I have a request with everyone. I guess you all will have the permission to uh, admit or allow the people here. So please do it. Okay. And yeah, before just this, okay. So Kilemu, I was already telling you that a 2D data is basically two-dimensional data where we store the data in a form of rows and columns. They are relational data. But if I want to store multiple dimensional data where we are using multi dimensions to analyze a specific respective information, we use cubes. There is a concept, we call it cubes. Okay, cubes are used for analysis of your data, and you will be able to analyze your data on the basis of your like facts and dimensions. So you can add either one. There is always be a one fact and multiple dimensions tables are there, which we will actually connect together by using a primary key and a foreign key relationship, and then we will be able to start working with your data approaches as well, right? And Power BI, how's it works? So we will gradually cover that, how it is going to work. Just give a look, and then gradually all the questions are answered. Is that okay now? Please give me a confirmation. Awesome. Thank you so much for confirming. All right. So businesses of today, what they are doing, they are literally collecting and storing a massive amount of data. What I believe in daily basis, we are literally processing millions of data, right? Millions of data there. Yet businesses continue to struggle to use their data in a meaningful and a productive way. So this is actually going to impact their productivity. They impact their ability to act with the data. So business must be able to use their vast amount of data and information in such a way that literally impacts the businesses as well. So remember one thing, the business decision makers, or you can say the stakeholders, the business analysts or the stakeholders, they are completely dependent on an accurate story to drive better business decisions. So the faster a business can make decisions, the more competitive they will be and the better advantage they will have. So what is the key to unlocking all this data is being able to tell a story. It can be done by creating an insightful reports, by designing insightful reports, or you can say uh, by designing different type of reports as well. And remember one thing, that it is said that like initially a human eye, they recognizes the pattern. A human eye recognizes the pattern, how the pattern is going on, how the process is going on. Right now, these are the different type of data sources which are available for us, or which are available to us when we want to work with these data resources. These are different type of data sources. Here the data will be stored either in a 2D format, or it can be in a three-dimensional format as well. So when this data is going to be stored in either two-dimensional or a three-dimensional format, okay, what you can find out here is that at the end the data is stored in a form of a simple data resources, like a data in a form of a like data in a form of your raw data. You can say it can be anything. It can be an Excel sheet, it can be an SQL server data file, it can be your access database, it can be your this is what we call survey monkey. It is generally used for the surveying purpose. And then Google Analytics or yeah Google Analytics as well. And there are different type of options which you can find out here. They all are generating the data in different formats. It can be a structured data, it can be a semi-structured data, it can be your unstructured data as well, right? And all these data are processed, transformed, or you can say processed, and we will be able to create different type of business decisions. We will be able to perform the different business decisions that needs to be taken care, or we will be able to create different visuals. And all these visuals are initially be used all these visuals are initially be used for the purpose of representing your resources. So whenever you are going to work with these resources, you definitely, it actually going to give me a more easy way to take the decision, apart from going with a normal row column format kind of information, or row column format kind of data implementation and so on. So that's basically the very important factor, very important idea that we must understand. At the end, we are going to use the data warehouse data. It can be your database related data, it can be data warehousing solution, it can be your cubicle solutions. Any of these solutions are generally be used for designing and developing the dynamic or high-end reports, so that we will be able to take quick decisions. So definitely they are actually, see, at the end, how you are generating all these information by getting the data. That data can be a simple transactional data in a form of a simple rows and tables and everything, or it can be in a form of an OLAP. OLAP refers to online analytical processing, where we are analyzing the data by getting the historical information from different type of data sources. So at the end, this view that you can see right now is completely based on the data. Whatever data you are capturing, whatever data you are receiving, you are retrieving, you are reading, that's all. So whether it is a data warehousing solution, it's basically your a database solution, it is your cubicle solution, it's a URL, it's an Excel sheet, it can CSV, it can TXT. At the end, we are actually reading the data as well. But remember what I said, not everyone can be a developer, not everyone can be an ETL developer. We required an easiest way, so that our end users will also be able to design and develop their own custom reports, and then they will be able to give you a view where you will be able to take, or where the team or the sales, sorry, or the stakeholders will be able to take decisions, because now they are not dependent on the report developers to just develop or design the reports. They can design the reports by their own, and they can present the report to the company managers or maybe to the stakeholders, to anybody, so that they will actually get to know how the things are going on. So anyhow, the data is also required. So data is the base, right? Without data, no visual. Remember what I said, you are on a journey. And generally, when we are on a journey, we are never ever alone. We never ever alone. We have people most of the time, right? We have people most of the time. Like if I talk about a simple drive on a highway, you are not the only person who is driving on the highway. The other people are also there. They are with their cars. So at the end, a highway is what? It's a path where you all are running together, where you all are traveling together. Okay, and you are covering the same distance, the same information, the same details gradually. So when I get a situation like that, we also have in the world of data, we have different type of roles as well, right? And every role have their very or have their own significance. They have their own significance. They have their own requirement. They have their own implementation as well. So these are the different type of decisions, or you can say different type of data decision making processes which are there, which we generally be able to use for the purpose of taking quick decisions. Okay, and then we can actually need people who can help us with their expertise on these particular approaches or on these particular terminologies. So if I will go one by one, so the first member that you will find in this family, we call them the data analyst. It's the one that we are currently focusing on. As a data analyst, we are actually focusing on this whole process, this whole procedure, right? That how or what is a data analyst, how a data analyst initially work, what is the like work of a data analyst. So these guys are someone who are completely responsible for many tasks. Now when I say responsible for many tasks, these are responsible for profiling the data, cleaning the data, transforming the data, designing the data, building scalable and performant data models, and enabling and implementing the advanced analytics capabilities into reports for analysis. So generally your data analysts are someone, they actually work with data engineers to determine and locate appropriate data sources and identify new process or improve existing processes as well. And that's where the data analysts are playing a very important role as well. Moving to the next role as well, if you can see right now, we actually call them the enterprise data analyst. So what is an enterprise data analyst initially? Uh, an enterprise data analyst here, actually it is a combination of PL, this data analysis, and Azure data implementation solutions. Okay, so here, like the idea of this enterprise data analyst is to, and what we generally do in this, we learn to implement and manage data analytics environments, query and transform the data, implement and manage the models, and we explore and visualize these information, right? So here, this is just an enterprise, or you can say an enhanced version of your data analysis approaches with data warehouse, sorry, with Azure data engineering solution. So Azure data engineering is a completely different track. It's a basically all about the Azure data implementation, where you are using cloud-based implementation. So enterprise data analyst is a combination of the data analyst, and then the third role, we call them the data engineers. So who are data engineers initially? The primary responsibilities of these data engineers is to, or engineers include the use of on-premises and cloud data services. And they use tools to ingest the data, to transform the data, and from multiple sources as well. They provision and set up data platform technologies that are on premises and in the cloud as well. And these guys are very much capable of managing and securing the flow of structured and unstructured data from multiple sources. So these are the another important role. We call them the data engineers. These guys are more into the development either on premises or on cloud, so they can work on both the areas as well. With that, we have data scientist. What is a data scientist? These guys are literally uh, the one which use the concept of algorithms. They are members who generally work with machine learning. They work with your they create their own customized algorithms so that they will be able to dig deeper into the data. And suppose if any problem occurs which is not solvable by using by a data engineer or a data analyst, so these people can use their skills. They use their algorithms, and with the help of those algorithms they will be able to they actually find the solutions accordingly. And here they use the concept of predictive analytics, which are used in machine learning, so that we will be able to apply the modeling techniques and then we can detect the patterns and everything, right? So these are initially be or these people are more into the forecasting models. They are more into the forecasting models, or you can say for the future predictions, this role is very important as well. And then finally, the whole and soul, or you can say the lifesavers, not, of course not for us but for the data. These are the lifesavers of the data. You know why? Because if any discrepancies are happen, any problem occur in your data resources, okay, they are the one who actually take care of almost everything, whether it is a backup of your data, restoration of the data, uh, scheduling the data approaches, creating jobs, and all these type of approach will be managed and conceded by your database administrators. So these are some, actually these are the codes. These are actually also courses which are available with us, right? Like PL300, DP500, DP203, DP100, and DP300. These are the data engineering and data analysis courses that we generally have, and we generally use these courses for our we use these courses like also for, of course, enhancing our knowledge as well. So this was the another important factor that we were actually about to understand when we are going to work. So these are the different roles, and every role have their own value. They have their own value. They earn their own respect. They earn their own place when we have started working with all these respective resources that we are currently following here. So now the next thing is that, so these are the different roles as well. Our focus is completely on your data analyst, because this is what we are going to perform right now. The next thing is that when I will go for this data analyst, so what do you think, what is the responsibility that a data analyst generally take care? So when I say the terminology of your data analyst, we have multiple options. The first process that we have, we call them the preparation of the data. It is known as your preparation of the data, where a data analyst is basically, now please try to understand, it is one of the very critical role in an organization, because it will help us to uncover and make sense of information to keep the company balanced and operating efficiently. So it's vital that we as a data analyst understands our responsibility and tasks which are performed. So the skill set, like we will be able to focus on different options. So when I say the word prepare, as a data analyst, you will probably spend most of your time split between the preparing and modeling the task as well. Because try to understand one thing, if it is a bad or an incorrect data, they can have a major impact, which can result in invalid reports, a loss of trust, and can negatively affect business decisions as well. Now, once you prepare the data, it means you do the task of transforming the data, or you can say you perform some cleanup in the data. The next step you can find out here is what we call them the modeling of the data. Because once the data is modeled or it is in a proper state, it's ready to be modeled. It's ready to be modeled. Now, data modeling is what? Data modeling is the process of determining how your tables are related to each other, which means, or in the other words, you can say it is completely focus on making relationships. If you want to prepare or if you want to go with some relationship approach right here, so for going with some like relationship, we will definitely be able to focus on that. So initially uh, this one is designed, or you can say models are designed to make relationship between multiple sources. So when you are using these sources, they are designed to make relationship between multiple sources, because generally what happened whenever we capture our data, that data initially come or appears to us in a form of like it can be from anywhere. It can be from an Excel sheet, it can be from CSV. We can use a combination of data as well, or I can use only a single data implementation or single data information as well. They all are the different type of tasks which we generally be able to perform. So modeling, as I have told you, it is the process of determining how your tables are related to each other, and this is done by defining and creating the relationships. We generally design the relationships here between the tables, and then from there we can enhance the model by defining metrics and adding some custom calculations to enrich your data. But there is one more thing. This one is the most critical task. Why? Because it impacts the critical, or it's the most critical task because it impacts the performance on reporting and data analysis. This is the most crucial thing you can find out. You will be able to find out when you are actually work with your modeling part. This one is the most critical task because it impacts the performance on reporting and data analysis. We have different ways to monitor and to manage and to take care of these particular resources which are there. But of course, they are the one who plays a very important role in modeling data, reading the data, making relationship towards the data. All these factors are initially be used for this whole set of information there. So this one is then another quick decisions that we have just taken. Where would you categorize data developer who writes queries? Of course, it's basically the task before this actually. Who write this? This is not a part of this preparation. It is the part of your source sources, and the data source can be anywhere. And wherever you will have the like source available, source is always be the prior task before reading the information or before transforming the information. So it is not categorized in any of these approach as well, right? But of course, like if you want to use some query implementation, you can go into the modeling part where you will be able to go with some query implementation by using your Power Query editor. Again, you are not writing queries over here. Mostly you are writing queries only at the time of reading the data. After that, everything, whatever work that you are going to do, it will be within your Power BI implementation. They are data developers, but they are more focused into the SQL and all those options which is there. Right here I'm just talking about getting the data from any of these resources, and then we will start modeling, start visualizing, start analyzing, and then managing the data there. Right? So they are data developers previously as well. They are now, but of course, modeling is just a technique that we have just discussed. Right? Once the model is prepared, it means all the relationships are okay, everything is going fine. Then we have the next part, and this is the task, is where you are get to bring your data to life. Why? Because in this particular task we generally solve the business problems. If I have, or if I will present you a well designed report, it can tell me a compelling and impactful story about that data, how it enables this business decision makers to quickly gain needed insight as well. But you need to make sure that you are using proper visualizations and interactions as well. And an effective report guides the reader through the content quickly and effectively, which allow the reader to follow a narrative into the data. But remember one thing, you also need to take care of your target audiences. you also need to take care of your target audiences, which means to whom you want to present this data, to whom you want to show this data, to whom you want to present these information. That's basically what we call the visualizes part, where you are actually bringing your data to life by using different type of visualizations as well. Then the next important factor you all are going to find out here, we call them the analyzing the data. Analyzing the data. This task is the important step of understanding and interpreting the information which is displayed on the report. So as a data analyst, you should understand the analytical capabilities of Power BI and use those to find insights, identify patterns and trends. We will cover them in more detail as well, predict outcomes, and then communicate those insights in such a way that everyone can understand. So it means you need to make it more readable, more impactful, and make it more important when you are going to focusing on. And then finally, we have the last but not the least task. We call them the management task. There are many components in Power BI, like we have reports, we have dashboards, we have workspaces, data sets, and so on. As a data analyst, you are responsible for the management of these Power BI assets, because overseeing the sharing and distribution of items like reports and dashboards and ensuring the security of Power BI assets, it's actually your task to taken care. And this will be taken care. We have a technique to do that. Of course, we will be going to cover that up gradually in the further modules as well. So these are the 5 very important tasks you can find out of a data analyst.